A sauna will melt away those lbs. After all, it worked for me.
Welcome everyone to the Mickey Shorts and More podcast. My name is Keeson.
And my name is Steve, and we are here for yet another podcast of Mickey Mouse fun for all of you, our fans, and hopefully a few new people joining in this week. Keaton, how's it going?
Good. And for Christmas, I gave him his coffee mug for a Christmas present.
Yes, he did. He went out and found me a nice Mickey Mouse mug. Granted, I'm not a coffee drinker, but I can use it for my water whenever we're recording a podcast because, any podcasters know that, talking for 30 minutes or so as we record can wreak havoc on the voice, especially in spring allergy season. So, yes, every episode behind the scenes, I've got my Mickey Mouse mug, my Christmas gift from Keaton, sitting next to me. Thank you, buddy.
You're welcome.
So, Keaton, how's it going this week? How are you enjoying quarantine?
Good.
He's getting all of his schoolwork done, even though he's not in school. Granted, he's missing his friends, but...
Because I have my own unique workbook.
You do have your own workbook. So, yeah, hopefully everyone's out there surviving all of this virus land craziness. But
We sure do hope so.
Keaton does appreciate his fans out there, the fans of the show. He was one of the things that we're working on, as we want to make sure that we're optimizing our resources, is that he can't be quite so picky at dinner time. And so tonight he had a dinner that he was less than enthusiastic about eating. And we said, well, we can't do the podcast until you're done with the dinner. And he sighed and he's like, all right, I'm doing this for the fans. And then he proceeded to eat his dinner so that he could get in here and record the podcast for this week.
And then at the end, they were like, "Pa, I ate that dinner." And then I took a big bite and then done.
Right. So, yep. He appreciates his fans. He does whatever he needs to do to be here each week for the fans of the show, and we appreciate everybody listening and interacting with us on social media. It's a fun thing to be involved with the Disney online social community, especially in crazy times like this. They can help keep us sane and on our toes. But, Keaton, you know what?
What?
We've got some Mickey Mouse to talk about this week. We are here to cover Season 2, Episode 13, called Doggone Biscuits.
You mean like dogs sitting on biscuits?
No, not dog-sitting biscuits. Doggone, which has kind of a double meaning here, which we'll talk about when we get into the episode. But first, we've got some news.
Friends, loved ones, I've gathered you all here to tell you something important.
Now, one of the things that we're all missing is our Disney Parks news. The parks are closed, and they switched the announcement this last week from closed for 2 weeks, opening at the beginning of April, to now closed indefinitely, which, that's a big scary word, but it's the right thing to do with the virus out there. We can just only hope that the parks are open again when it's safe to do so and no one's going to, have a bad experience by getting sick there. So our hats off to Disney because, theme parking is a tough business to be in when everyone's scared to be around other people. But I know that the big brains at Disney can figure it out and get us back in the parks as soon as we can.
And we all know that we have our own masks.
Yep, we have our own masks now, which are kind of cool. We get to pick our own fabric, and we're going to be styling.
I did a cool basketball one.
You did. If only we had, because we couldn't go to the store, but if only we had some spare Mickey Mouse fabric in the house, just in case. So there's something. When everything is back to normal and life is kind of going as it should once again, stock up on the Disney fabric, just in case you ever need it, because apparently we did this time and had to make do with what we had around here. So he gets basketballs and soccer balls. But that's not the news we're here to talk about. We're getting on tangents once again. What we're here to talk about is the fact that for those of you who are missing the theme parks, who love the experience of going to a theme park, riding the rides, and then going to the store afterwards and getting merch from that ride, there is some brand new merch that's available now for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway that's on sale online at Box Lunch. Now, these are some cool exclusive shirts just for them. And because, like I said, they're on sale right now for all of us who are homebound. You can look at the link in the show notes. These are some cool designs. They've got kid sizes. They've got baby sizes. They've got adult sizes, all for these exclusive Mickey and Minnie Runaway Railway shirts. So you can, like we recommended last week, you can watch the virtual reality versions of the ride.
And my size shirts.
Your size shirts, yep. So go on the YouTube app, watch the 360 versions of Mickey's Runaway Railway and all of the rides for that matter. And then you can go on the site and for inexpensively order yourself a nice shirt. So for instance, youth shirts are on sale this week for $11.17. Adult sizes are on sale for $23.12. This is not a sponsor to us or anything like that, where we're not trying to do some advertising. It's just they're cool shirts, and we like all things Mickey Mouse, so we're letting you know that they are less expensive now than normal, especially compared to the prices of, like the shirts in the parks and stuff like that. So you can go get cool Runaway Railway stuff through the link in the show notes. Now, Keaton, this isn't news per se, but it's still fun. I always like the little details of rides, and we're still talking, we're still discovering new things as we sit here at home from Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. But you want to know what I found today, bud? Every ride, rides are technologically complex creatures. They're going to break down. It doesn't matter what the ride is. It's going to break down every once in a while. And one of the things we discovered is that when Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway breaks down, things get entertaining. It's not just the ride is not moving anymore, or some boring spiel. For instance, if you're in the room, the very last scene when there's the Mickey and Minnie Runaway Railway animatronics that are singing the Nothing Can Stop Us Now theme, the animatronics will actually talk to you. Be like, hey, the ride broke. So we have audio from that we're going to play right now.
Gosh, everyone. It looks like we're experiencing a brief delay.
The animatronic's actually moving and talking to you, saying, we're experiencing a brief delay. And then you can hear the crickets and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
What happens if you break down in the first room?
I don't know. I don't have that one. But I've got another one. But it's an interesting idea to actually have the characters interacting with the people when the ride breaks down. We've never seen that before. If Haunted Mansion breaks down, the ghosts are not in there talking to you, saying, hold on, folks, they'll be back soon. But that'd be kind of cool. But listen to this one. This one is... Granted, this isn't the characters from the ride talking to you. This is... all
the characters talk to you in this ride?
Nope. Like, for instance, I'm about to show you one from Daisy. And this is when you're in the dance studio. And like I said, Daisy's not talking to you, but the ride announcer is... Mickey's talking to the ride announcer, which is kind of fun.
Attention riders, we have temporarily stopped Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Please remain seated.
Say, announcer, I was wondering, do you have to remain seated too?
No, Mickey, I'm just a voice.
What the? The guy is talking to Mickey!
Well, it's just the voice coming out of the loudspeaker saying, everyone, please stay seated. And Mickey's like, hey, announcer, do you have to remain seated? And she's like, no, I'm just a voice. So I always appreciate those little details that just make things fun so that you can still be entertained if you're sitting there stuck, broken down, waiting for them to go. So we can all take a nice sigh and think, oh, that's something we can look for if we ever get back to the parks, because they're currently closed.
At the end of the Monsters Inc. ride, like someone's talking to you.
Well, I don't know about that one, but I do know that in the Mickey Mouse ride, because we just were able to listen to that, there's interaction from the characters as you're sitting in there waiting. All right, buddy, what do you say we watch some Mickey Mouse?
Yay!
You, the ultimate wiggle worm, tonight.
Are you ready for the show?
All right, so as I said earlier, we're here to talk about Season 2, Episode 14, called Doggone Biscuits. The official show summary says Minnie is in big trouble after she inadvertently feeds Pluto an entire bag of dog treats. The original air date is January 16th, 2015. And as we always do, credit where credit is due. This episode was written by Derek Bachman, Clay Morrow, Paul Ruddish, and Eddie Trigueros. It was directed by Eddie Trigueros and, as you can guess, storyboarded by Eddie Trigueros. So, Keaton, who is the main character of this show?
Minnie.
That's right, it's not Mickey Mouse this time, as we will see. And as you'll see from the very beginning, the title card at the beginning of the episode does not say Mickey Mouse.
It's Minnie Mouse again.
This is a Minnie Mouse cartoon. So, we're going to watch a Minnie Mouse. Does that mean we have to now get the domain name Minnie Shorts and More? We're still Mickey Shorts and More. But this is a Minnie-themed episode. So, Keaton, are you ready for some Doggone Biscuits?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's watch some good Pluto-themed fun. 3, 2, 1. Minnie Mouse in Doggone Biscuits. So, Pluto is getting a huge bag of biscuits. Mickey just brought this in. So, Pluto is supposed to get a treat when he's good. And Minnie's like, oh, well, that's all the time. Mickey is like, now, wait a minute. You got to be careful. These are really bad for him. These are really fattening. So, I'm going to go now. He's on a trip. He's treating Minnie just like the dog.
You're my Pluto!
We're going to have so much.
All right, so Minnie is now home alone with Pluto. Pluto really wants a snack. So Minnie's going to give him a snack. 2 days later, she's feeding him snacks like crazy. Pluto's eating them like crazy. But suddenly they realize the whole bag is gone. And now Pluto is so fat, he just fell through the floor. Now Mickey's like, oh, I love him so much. I miss him. I'm going to come home right now so that I can see him. And Minnie's like, oh, no, you don't. We got to get him back into shape because he's so fat. So Minnie just shoved a giant sweater on him. It's shoving fat rolls everywhere.
Oh, his butt!
His butt just came crashing through the wall, yeah. Now, this is interesting. She's shoving him in a sauna, turning it on completely hot. And Minnie Mouse knows that this works. We'll talk about this later. Now he's just a shriveled nothingness. His teeth are falling out. She's hooking him up to the faucet. Oh, cranking him full of water. And now he's shoved everywhere. He's
even bigger!
He's even bigger. And here comes Mickey. So Minnie's like, all right, come on, Pluto. You got to get going.
That's the first ever time he just choked!
I know. All right, so we got to try to motivate Pluto to lose some weight here. So we're going to do all these things that we know that dogs like. Mailmen. Dogs like to chase the mailman. So Pluto's slowly trying to get up some motivation. Look, on Minnie's head is a fire hydrant. Oh, he's spinning his heels.
Oh, no.
Cats. Oh, we know what that does to dogs. So now Pluto's slowly speeding up. Oh, here comes a fire truck. That's going to get him where we're going. She's on roller skates. She's slowly speeding him up. Oh, the weight, the pounds are starting to come off. But suddenly, Minnie Mouse went flinging off into the distance. She's being chased by dogs. She's running into a hammock and now getting flung across the city. poor Pluto gets stuck in the same hammock, and now it's being pulled behind him.
Mailbox.
The mailbox just got stuck on the hammock. Oh, now something else did. A car. He's running. More things are getting stuck on him. What is back there?
Oh!
A boat and a building.
Yeah, a building. Oh.
Here comes Mickey. He wants to see his dog, but now he's covered with rabid, angry dogs. There's a huge fight that just broke out. Pluto sees this. He's going to be a good dog and save the day.
It's like a Hulk dog.
It's like a Hulk dog. He's dragging all this stuff. He finally gets there. He kicks out all the dogs. And now Pluto
is ripped.
He is ripped. He's so covered in muscles after all of that. And Mickey is so proud. And Minnie's like, oh, yeah, you have no idea what just happened there, buddy. All right, buddy. So that is Doggone Biscuits.
Now it's time for favorite part.
Yes. What is your favorite part of the episode Doggone Biscuits?
I like when he goes, nah. Because it's the first ever time he talks.
This is true. So Pluto is lying on the ground. He has zero motivation. He's bigger than the size of a house. He is so fat. And Minnie's like, come on, we got to work all this weight off. Mickey's coming home. And Pluto's like, no.
Let's go for a jog.
Yeah.
And he talks.
He's like, nah. But luckily, Minnie was able to motivate him to, get back out there and start working out once again. Anything else, buddy, that comes to mind for you?
Well, the thought is, I wish they would make, a episode when Pluto, talks all episode.
You want a whole episode of Talking Pluto, huh?
Yeah.
I like him as a dog, where we can only read his expressions and his bark noises. That's just kind of how Pluto is. Now, one thing that's in here, I'm trying to be politically correct and sensitive to, different issues here, but it's just, I find it so entertaining. There's this scene where they take Pluto, or Minnie takes Pluto, and she shoves him in the sauna. And she's like, ooh, some heat'll, knock down those LBs, as she calls them. And she points to a picture just to the side of the door. She's like, I know, because it worked for me. And this is the first time we've ever seen a large, very overweight Minnie Mouse. Who knew that Minnie Mouse used to be very, very large? But apparently it worked. She was able to drop all the weight by spending all of her time in a sauna.
What is a sauna?
It's a really hot room. Really hot, steamy room. Kind of like when you're in the shower for a long time and it gets really hot in there, but there's not the water. It's just a really hot room.
Well, what do you do with it?
You just sit there and sweat. and sweat and sweat and sweat. Sweat out those LBs, as Minnie Mouse likes to say.
A sauna will melt away those LBs. After all, it worked for me.
I also like the fact that, as Keaton was saying during the episode, we get the sequence where we don't see all the stuff that Pluto is pulling. We know that he's got a hammock stuck on him, and as he's running to try to save the day, to get to his owners and help them out, we can hear the things going, and crunching behind him, and we see him reacting constantly to something new being added to it, but we don't know what that is until we pull back, and suddenly we see it's like everything. There's a house, there's a boat, there's cars, there's a statue from Easter Island.
Actually, it's not a building. It's just a big apartment.
Okay. But an apartment is still a building. Yeah, exactly.
Apartment building.
So he is dragging all of this stuff down the street. It reminds you...
An apartment building.
Exactly. It reminds you of like those strongman competitions where they're like trying to drag stuff down the street. If you ever watch, if ESPN doesn't have any programming on, like, the middle of the night on a Saturday, sometimes they'll play the strongman competitions. Kind of reminded me of that, with he like are struggling to get down the street. But entertaining nonetheless, watching Pluto go from regular Pluto to grossly obese, overweight Pluto that's falling through the house because he's just so big, to, Mickey's now coming home. I am so busted. To trying to figure out how to get him to lose the weight in such a short period of time.
But what if he got too small?
Yeah, but what if he got too small? Well, that was him in the sauna. It just reminded me, you got to be careful with the dog stuff. For our dog, whose name is Joy, every night she's got like this black Kong ball with a hole in the middle of it, and she absolutely loves when I fill that ball full of this sprayed dog peanut butter stuff. I mean, she goes gaga for this. And she knows that as soon as Keaton goes to sleep, it's treat ball time. And just by saying the words treat ball, she's like, and she has to have it. Every time I feed it to her.
And we call the peanut butter doggy peanut butter.
Doggy peanut butter, exactly. And every time I feed it to her, all I'm picturing is this episode when Pluto, as the dog is slowly getting fatter and fatter, and I'm watching the same effect on her, and I'm like, oh, boy. I'm listening to Mickey's voice in my head going, don't give her too much of that, because it's so fattening. But then she loves it, and I'm turning into Minnie Mouse, constantly feeding her the treat ball, and I shouldn't do that. I should be a better dog owner than Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse.
Peanut butter is fattening?
Yes, it is.
What if it took 2 days later and to do that too?
Well, luckily things don't happen in the real world that fast, but boy, it kind of feels like it. Now, a few random observations about the show.
Because they add that, like 100 years later, or 5 like minutes later, or
whatever they want to put on the title card, that's what they can do.
Actually, the SpongeBob is actually the very first time they added those cards in.
That's right. That's kind of a nod to the 2 days later. That's a nod to the SpongeBob cartoons. Okay, so random facts. This is the third Minnie Mouse themed episode where she gets the title card. The first was Oh de Minnie. The second one was Clogged, which we just talked about a few weeks ago. This is the third appearance of Pluto in the cartoon series. The first was in Dog Show, which we talked about a long time ago. The second was Spacewalkies, which wasn't too long ago, where Pluto has to pee in space. And this is only the second episode where Mickey Mouse is considered a minor character.
Minor?
Minor, meaning not the major character, because Minnie is the major character and Pluto is the major character. Mickey just has a small part in it. He's at the very beginning when he's leaving to go out of town, and he's at the very end when he comes back and sees Pluto, and he's ripped, which is another line I like.
Pluto, you're ripped! Wow, Minnie, he looks great. I was pretty sure I was going to come home to find a big fat Pluto.
So that is Doggone Biscuits, your Mickey Mouse short of the week.
We are fans of Mickey Mouse, so sometimes we like to play a game of Mickey Mouse.
Yep. We do lots of things Mickey Mouse in this house. I'm looking at your bed surrounded with Mickey Mouse toys. You have a Mickey Mouse pillowcase on your bed.
I have a Mickey Mouse stuffed animal.
Yes.
Mickey ears on my wall.
Yes, you do. No shortage of Mickey Mouse stuff around here.
And a Mickey Mouse calendar.
Yep. All right. So, Keaton, guess what time it is?
Keaton's Joke of the Week.
All right, Mr. Energy, what do you have for us tonight? He's flexing.
What did the banana say to the dog?
What did the banana say to the dog? Hey, kudos. At least when we're talking about a dog with Pluto, you found a dog joke. So, all right there. But, all right, we got two random things. All right, banana. What, please don't eat me, sir. I don't know. So, Keaton, what did the banana say to the dog?
Nothing. Bananas can't talk.
Nothing? Bananas can't talk?
Nothing. Bananas can't talk.
What kind of joke is that?
Nothing. Bananas can't talk.
This is the truest joke ever spoken. Okay.
And dogs can't talk.
Well, it didn't say the dog. It just said, what did the banana say to the dog? So, all right. There you go. And that is what we call
Keaton's Joke of the Week.
All right, with that, everybody, it is time to wrap up the show before this little guy explodes in a fit of silliness. Ay, caramba. Remember, you can listen to any of our past episodes at www.mickeyshortsandmore.com. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, on YouTube, on Google Play, on Stitcher. Whatever podcast player you listen to, just type in the words Mickey Shorts and More podcast, and you will, or hopefully you will find us anyway. Remember, you can connect with us in between shows on Facebook, on Instagram, or on Twitter. Again, just search for Mickey Shorts and More. You might have to have the word podcast in there if we don't immediately show up. Remember, you can email the show. You can send us your questions or your comments, whatever you'd like to send us at mickeyshortsandmore@gmail.com. Or if you'd rather talk to us and have your voice featured on a future episode of the show, you can call us at 541-321-0472 and leave us a voicemail on that line. Guess what next week is?
What?
Another one of our most watched episodes. You request this one, I think, almost more than anything else. I'll probably say that a lot because we watch these so much. But Workin' Stiff.
Oh, yeah. You're gonna love a part of it.
So we're going to go from a mini-themed episode to a goofy kind of themed episode in Workin' Stiff. Gosh, I get an episode? Oh, boy, my terrible goofy impersonation. All right, with that, everyone have a fantastic week. Hopefully everyone stays safe, stay healthy, stay indoors, stay away from other people, wear your masks. And with that, have a fantastic week.
Bye.
Bye!
Dun, 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 dun. Dun.